For 27 years, the family of Tupac Shakur has been waiting for justice. We are here today to announce the arrest.
For a considerable length of time, the group of 2Pac's Shaker has been sitting tight for equity. We are here today to declare the capture of 60-year-old Dwayne Keith Davis. You must be interested to what they struck his home about. Keith ID was doing a ton of talking. You realize that well-known adage, how untruths can continue to turn for a very long time, yet in the end reality kicks down the entryway. Well, think about what today may very well be the hotly anticipated day. New reports just spilled the tea that they caught 2Pac's executioner. And clutch your caps, since it appears as though the intensity may be surrounding Diddy. Also, do you feel like puffy goodness? You better believe it. Would it be a good idea? For me, I figure he ought to peer out. He pays special attention to everyone, you understand what I'm talking about. All them gnats, they can't actually contact me. You all. By the day's end, you all see. And you all understand what it is. You realize that the history. So what precisely is happening? The homicide of the notable rapper 2Pac Shaker has been a chilling, perplexing problem that has tormented the music business and fans for north of 20 years anyway. Late advancements propose that the long, slippery truth could at long last be rising up out of the shadows in a bit of destiny that could occur in the realm of thrilling embarrassments. Las Vegas analysts slap the sleeves on. In all honesty, Dwayne Keith D. Davis, a 60-year-old posse pioneer with a propensity for inconvenience, his capture has sent shockwaves through the business and given a promising sign to the people who have yearned for equity in 2Pac's homicide case. Mo Premi Shakur, 2Pac's stepbrother, couldn't resist the opportunity to communicate blended feelings about the capture. He called it mixed, raising an eyebrow as he uncovered that they had been very much aware of Keith D's contribution for quite a long time. The million-dollar question remains, for what reason did it take specialists such a long time to catch a suspect who had been shamelessly letting the cat out of the bag about his part in the wrongdoing? Manslaughter. Lieutenant Jason Johansson got straight to the point during an arresting public interview following Kefty's capture. He named Davis as the pioneer and shot guests leaving the room, humming with questions. Curiously, large numbers of the realities encompassing the case were at that point in the possession of policing. The beginning phases of the examination. Yet the case veered off in a strange direction when Keith D began making admissions to his contribution in 2018. Sheriff Kevin McMahon raved in making plainly this case was a long way from being done. He guaranteed the public that they were effectively fabricating a fruitful indictment. Most would agree that Nevada's fantastic jury was persuaded as they prosecuted Davis for the homicide. Following a while of serious pondering, his capture came as a shock while he was nonchalantly bringing a walk around his back home. What separates Keith D from the generally ordinary suspects for this situation is his surprising eagerness to spill the tea freely. He straightforwardly conceded to being at the location of the dry hit-and-run assault that guaranteed 2Pac's life in 1996. He didn't stop there. He even admitted to passing the deadly weapon to another gangster, making everything excessively certain that there were skeletons prowling in the hip-bounce world's wardrobe. Yet stand by, there's more in a stunning 2019 tell-all journal named Compton Road Legend Keith D let the cat out of the bag on his contribution. He professed to have been cruising in exactly the same Cadillac that was engaged with the shooting in this hazardous scholarly piece. He avoided the feline with regards to the SAC, expressing that he had really informed specialists about his support in the back in 2010 during a highly classified gathering with government and neighborhood policing. Davis asserted that the specialists had guaranteed him resistance in return for his collaboration, causing a commotion about the treatment of the case. And it doesn't end there. In the arresting narrative 2Pac delivered in 2018, Keith D dropped the mother of all bombs. He strongly expressed that he was backing up the driver in the vehicle with his nephew Orlando child, Elaine Anderson. The evening of the homicide, he went considerably further, admitting to giving Anderson the deadly weapon minutes before the deadly shots were released. 2Pac Shaker was a simple 25 years of age when he was struck somewhere near 4 projectiles to the chest on that pivotal evening of September 7, 1996 in Las Vegas. His less-than-ideal end left the world in shock, and presently Keith D's boldness to transparently examine his job in the wrongdoing is causing seismic waves in the music business, particularly considering the high-profile nature of the case. In a move that resembles a Hollywood thrill ride, Las Vegas police plunged down on the Henderson, Nevada occupants of, as a matter of fact, Keith D's significant other Paula Clemens. This previous July, this activity was all essential for the continuous examination concerning 2Pac's homicide, with specialists wanting to strike gold by uncovering proof that could attach Davis to the wrongdoing. During the hunt, the police struck jackpot. They recuperated a reserve of 40 type slugs from the property, urgent bits of proof that will go through criminological investigation to decide whether they are in any capacity associated with 2Pac Shaker's unfortunate demise. The power's choice to strike Keith D's significant other's home says a lot about the force of their interest for this situation. It conveys a reasonable message that policing surrounding Davis, who has recently guaranteed that seen Diddy brushes, had limited any association with him. Quite a while back, these advancements proposed that Keith D's disclosures might have broad repercussions that reach out past his own contribution in the wrongdoing. Yet here comes the most vital of this tempting story: the expected association between seen Diddy brushes and 2Pac Shaker's homicide. Diddy, the music magnate himself, has figured out how to move on the edge of lawful repercussions for his supposed association in the wrongdoing. Yet late turns in the story are hauling him back into the bursting spotlight. Scores of people, from customary observers to elite VIPs, have woven a web interfacing 2Pac's homicide to Diddy. Somehow everyone previously having the in their subconscious, like that you had something to do with it, like it fundamentally clear the hypothesis whirling around Diddy's contribution got some decent momentum when you peer into the dim thought processes and shadowy expectations hiding underneath the surface. Criminal investigator Greg, codying a previous individual from the Los Angeles Police Division, who is knee somewhere down in the 2Pac Shaker murder examination, focuses a light on the tangled intricacy of Diddy's supposed contribution. Kading recommends that Diddy's rationale might have been to safeguard himself from the rage of Suge Knight, who was effectively looking for retribution for the 1995 demise of a companion in Atlanta, a misfortune for which he considered Diddy mindful. After 2Pac's sad end, Suge Knight purportedly dove profound into his pockets and hacked up a cool $13,000 to recruit his own contract killer, a Bloodsport named Wardell Pochi Faust, to snuff out Christopher Wallace, otherwise called Big Deal Small's, a praised craftsman and a dear companion of Diddy's. This was a retaliatory move that sent shockwaves through the hip jump world. Yet the genuine kicker is this: how did Diddy hear about Suge Knight's vindictive goals? Maybe he had a precious stone ball, foreseeing the risk that was going his direction. This information raises a warning recommending that Diddy might have had an inside source, conceivably somebody with binds to Suge Knight's inward circle, and who preferred to fit that job over Keith D. The genuine article, with his presumed group associations. One of the most getting through riddles encompassing 2Pac's homicide is the location of the deadly weapon itself. While the police figured out how to recuperate slugs and housings from the crime location, the real Glock firearm utilized in the firing has stayed as tricky as a phantom. In the late evening, clashing reports and bits of hearsay have twirled around the situation with this slippery weapon. In 1998, a .40 type firearm was amazingly found in the nursery of a Compton home, starting hypothesis that it very well may be the deadly weapon. Anyway, ballistic tests on this gun quickly precluded it as a potential match. Criminal investigators fastidiously analyzed the housings found at the crime location to the markings that the weapon would have left on shot slugs, and the outcomes were a resonating no match in a sensation disclosure. Included in the narrative, 2Pac Keith D dropped a reality bomb that sent shockwaves through the wireless transmissions. He asserted that the real deadly weapon strangely evaporated the evening of the actual homicide. Criminal investigator Kiting himself highlighted that without the deadly weapon, any associations made between the found projectiles and the homicide could be viewed as conditional, best-case scenario. Generally, the mysterious vanishing of the deadly weapon has tossed a gigantic spanner underway, seriously hampering the headway of the examination and making it a daunting struggle to lay out substantial proof. Yet here's where the situation starts to get interesting. Much further, people in a stunning disclosure, previous heavyweight champion Mike Tyson seems to state that he has substantial